it's Kelly from Cards by Christine here with you on Tuesday. I think we're at Tuesday. It's been a blur. Also, I am coughing, so I'm going to try not to do much of that, but we'll see. We are here for kit class, the second kit of March, and then next on Thursday, we are on to Paper Pumpkin. We are rounding up the month. It went so fast. Obviously, we had on stage, got back from on stage, and just kept cooking. And before you know it, the end of the month was upon us, and I just don't know. It goes too fast. Does not help. Like I said, we had a week where we were gone on stage, and then I've been down and out ever since getting back, and then Chris was under the weather as well. So sincere apologies. Chris was unable to do class earlier this week. She didn't even have a voice, so hard to teach when you can't talk. I fortunately never lost my voice. I got it really bad in the chest coughing, and I was hoping that it'd be gone by now, but at least we are hopefully what it feels like on the tail end of it. Man, it just knocked my socks off. I still don't even have the energy to make it through a whole day. So we're getting there, one day at a time. It all will be better. The spring weather, please come back. I feel like that's what's going to do everyone's soul some good. Knock all of this winter crud out of us. So, also apologies for the mess, we'll call it. It's not really a mess. There are so many things happening in the hive. So many things. We just counted. We had a little brain dump about what's to come for April. There are 10 kitted card classes in April. So many things going on. So keep an eye out for all of those things. I will be photographing this afternoon. So you'll get some cover photos and collages coming your way about what all of that is. Lots of beautiful cards, some great suites, some great collections. We also have, of course, we're saying goodbye to our in colors. So there will be an in color retirement class. Another benefit, we've got an MS benefit in April. On top of all of our other classes that we do, like ink, paper, scissors, sweet class, let's just stamp. We have an order-based class this month. So lots and lots and lots of stuff to tune in for. So keep that on your radar. I need to check to make sure we're live. I've just been hemming and hawing, and I haven't even paid attention to whether I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Kiddos, we have YouTube. Okay, let's see here. And then we can break into the box. Cards by Christine. Woohoo! March kit featuring Welcoming Garden. Okay, so there we are. So, I have not... Wow, look at all of this. Okay. So hello to Julie, Karen, Penny, Jeannie, Leanne. It's called Organized Chaos. Thank you, Karen. That is exactly what it is. Hello, Nancy and Julie. I know. Oh, orange juice. Yes, that would be great. The Stamp Up Convention did it. You know, I think partly could have been germ swapping, but also I just ran myself too low. And I do that from time to time where I just keep going and going and going and going, and then all of a sudden it's like you hit a brick wall. Chris and I have talked about this before. It's kind of like you take a break, as in like we went to on stage, and your body catches up to you. Like, hey, I'm not going. Like, I have an opportunity to get sick. And I think that's what happened. So it's all good. We are managing. And good morning, Maria. So I don't remember. I think we had kit class last week as well. I was probably under the weather then too. So my brain is not remembering a lot of things. So I might have talked about this last week, but I just want to talk about how amazing Onstage was and how amazing it was to actually physically meet a whole bunch of you. I am really bad with names. So bad with names. Now, when there's people that I see repetitively on like YouTube or on kit classes, I will remember your name, but like to put a name to a face or to be able to like make that connection is so hard. But when I actually got to meet so many of you, it was wonderful. And hello, Holly. It's so nice to have you tune in. So it was great to finally be able to make some of those connections and really solidify some relationships to help me kind of figure out who's who. So it was great. Back at it now, though, and we've hit the ground running, and it's time to see what we've got in our box. So last week we did Maritime Moments. This week we have Welcome Garden Kit. Sorry, my phone was dead, so I have a cord going through. So, Welcoming Garden Kit, excuse me, was the second kit that was released in March of 2025 through Stampin' Up. It is such a cute kit. I'm so excited to be pulling it together. Germ incubators. Yep. The plain, and honestly, you're right. There was a lot of just like dry air that also, like, I think that's what initially brought on the cough, was all the dry air, and then it just decided it wanted to stay. So it is what it is. Okay. So let's crack this open and see what we are playing with today. Ooh, crumb cake. One of my very most favorite colors. It's just such a beautiful neutral. Goes with so many things. I love it. So, we are making 3 each of 3 different card kits, and they all have this beautiful garden theme to it, which is lovely. So, open it up. I can see already that we have a stamp set that has a fence on it. I'm gonna grab the printout, though. It's always easier to show off the stamps from the printout. So, welcoming garden stamp artwork. So we have the fence, we have some shadow lines, and then thinking of you today, just a note, and thanks. Why don't I like green? Oh, that's a hot take. So, funny story about me, I always say that my favorite color is rainbow because I really struggle to settle on a favorite color. I love the gradient of rainbows and how the colors flow freely into each other. So that's why I always say rainbow's my favorite color. But I don't know why. Of all of the colors in the rainbow, green always has been my least favorite color. There are, however, definitely shades of green that I do like, but when I'm looking at colors of things or choosing colors for things, I oftentimes stray away from green, and I don't have a real reason why. It just is something that I've noticed. Now, that being said, of course I love the green of grass, and like there's a time and a place for green for sure. It just always has been one of the low colors on my totem pole. So I don't really have an answer that's just kind of the story. Okay, so we have 9 envelopes, and each of the envelopes have this corner piece of leaves and flowers. Yay! Rainbow's your favorite color too. See, you don't need to have a traditional answer to that question. Ooh, this is fun. Okay, so this card has a 2-sided gate and floral piece. And then they are attached to a sky feeling piece. This is, wow. The detail on this, not only on the lasering, but also on the printing, is phenomenal. So that is one card. We got 3 of that one. Let's see here. It always is green money. Okay, so yes, that's another good use of green. It always is so stressful to unpack a kit and figure out where to put everything so that everything is nice and organized. At least for me it is. Okay, then it appears as though the rest of the cards have the same card base. So we've got this cloud textured card base that is going to be for the other 2 cards. I agree. These are so pretty. Okay. Then we have some punch outs that I presume we're going to be stamping sentiments on. Here is some gate pieces that we're going to likely be stamping the gate stamp on. Wow! Oh my gosh, these colors just jump out at you. So then here we have some laser cut floral pieces. And I am a huge fan of watercolor, so these really jump out at me. And then we have some more gate pieces. So those are all the contents. I'm going to move that out of the way. And then I'm also going to do a little punching. So we'll move the instructions over to here. And then I'm going to go ahead and start punching these things out. That's how I like to start my kit classes, because there are so many pieces, and if I have them all punched out, then I seem to be able to more quickly and easily go through. Yeah, I agree. I am a fan of this kit. I think they did a really great job designing it. It definitely is something that I've gotten a lot of feedback has been very well received. So, okay. I'll put this over here. Tiny little birdhouses. Okay, then we have some fence posts. And then hello. While you're watching me punch these out, if you haven't had an opportunity yet, I'd love for you to share this video and give it a thumbs up. It helps us to reach more people with our love of stamping. Oh my goodness, lots and lots and lots of flowers. Holy Toledo. I try to be extra delicate on these pieces because I really don't want to rip off any leaves or any very delicate parts. Especially when the piece is so big like this. It's very easy to get out of hand. Okay. And then we'll do the floral piece. See, now these pieces are primarily green. So this is the Welcoming Garden kit, Julie. And I don't have a problem with it because the green is so relevant and necessary to make these pieces look correct. But I just wouldn't, like, if I had to choose a color for something, my first choice would definitely not be green. All right, so now we have some additional pieces. I honestly don't know what these cards look like. So I'm very blindly punching out the pieces right now. And I can only imagine how beautiful these cards are going to be. Okay, then we have all sorts of other flowers up here. I have a good idea of what the first card's gonna look like because I cannot imagine real much extra is going to be going on the gate card. We'll see. Part of me wants to count out how many flowers we've got here. So many. Just so bright and cheerful. Okay, so that takes care of that. Then we have fence pieces and sentiment pieces. I'm not going to punch those out yet because those will be easier to stamp if they stay on their carrier sheet. So then I will move all of these pieces out of the way. Really is no best way to do that. We're gonna have a little bit of a mess when we get to that part. Okay. Oh, wow. Good gracious. So many things. Okay, so these are the cards. As you can tell, I was just admiring them. I gotta get back to my stream. Okay. Oh. So, I guess let's get started. And we'll kind of learn as we go. I need to grab... Oh my goodness, I lost it. There we go. Okay. All right, so we're gonna start with the delicately laser cut card base. We are going to stamp thanks on this piece. It appears as though we have 5 and only need 3. So plenty of extras in case we have a boo-boo. go ahead and grab your crumb cake. Stamp the thanks. Fits in there so perfectly. And then we have a little bit more stamping to do. So I'm just gonna pick the 3 best ones, put them off to the side, and then I will come back to my stamping. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is grab that piece that I called our shading piece. It's kind of got a bunch of straight parallel lines. We're actually going to be using this to add some texture to the fence posts. So, we want to make sure that it is on the exterior portion. So go ahead and take your card this way. Hello, Susan. Thank you so much for joining. And then stamp up or ink up your stamp. It appears as though, I don't know that it really matters, but the stamp has kind of a dip and a point. The point is facing downward. And then we are just going to be stamping this texture onto each one of the fence posts just to give it a little texture. Really feels as though there's no right or wrong way to do this, no rhyme or reason. So don't fret or stress too much about it. Go ahead and do that on each of the fence posts. When we do kit class, we like to end the class by having the entire kit completed. So I'm going to do all 3 cards of each of the 3 designs. Pretty simple, so it doesn't take too much. And then we have 1 more to go. Then you can go ahead and clean off your stamp. I am going to put the stamping things away for the time being. I'll bring them back out when we switch to the next card. Okay, so we've got our chamois. Get that nice and cleaned up. And move on from the stamping. Hi Tyra, thank you so much for joining. Okay, so we already have a nice firm crease on the floral piece because that was creased down to fit in the box. Go ahead and fold your gate piece over and burnish it so you've got a nice crisp crease on that one. Okay, then we have pieces. So we've got the thanks that we stamped. I'll put them above me. We have the birdhouse. And then we have some pink flowers. So I'm going to have to do a little sorting over here. And I may as well do that now. So we've got 3s of the orange flowers. We've got some purple flowers, some yellow flowers. Now I don't know yet if this is gonna be all of the pink flowers or not. So I'm just gonna keep sorting. So we have a 2-up of pink flowers, that we need. And then we have 2 individual pink flowers. So it looks like that might be all of the pink flowers. Okay. Then we have the rest of the purple buds. And then the hanging grape flowers. I'm not a florist by any means. Okay, so then I'm going to keep the pinks, the birdhouses, and the thanks, and I'm going to temporarily move the rest up. Now that they're sorted, I don't want to mix them up. Okay, so it looks like all of the pieces for this card are being adhered using dimensionals. So we've got our 2s, our singles, our birdhouse, and our thanks. We're going to open up the card, grab these are mini dimensionals, and then the thanks actually goes on the outside, so that can be last. The birdhouse gets 1 dimensional, so that's going to sit just on top of, so this further opens, but we're going to keep it closed for this part of the card making. So first we're going to grab 1 itty bitty dimensional, stick it on the birdhouse, and then you can layer that up on the birdhouse that is on the master sheet. Do your best to center it over top. Have I already YouTubed the heirloom arrangements kit? Was that the one I did? So the other kit this month was called Maritime Moments. The heirloom arrangements was last month, and yes, I did that one already. So you should be able to find that somewhere in the past classes section. Hello, Polly. Thank you for joining us from North Carolina. What a beautiful state you shared with us. Okay, so then we have doubles, singles, and singles. So we're going to start with a single. And I think I'm going to put the dimensionals on the flower that I'm covering. I'm not sure. I mean, that is what I'm going to do. I'm just not sure that this is going to be the best way, but I have a lot of these little flowers to stick, so I want to try a couple different things maybe. Might actually help you see where I'm putting them as well. So we've got a single, a double, and a single. So go ahead, peel the dimensional backs. And then you can layer your flowers on top. does not appear as though there's a quote-unquote right or wrong way to place these. You just do your best. So 1, 2, 3, 4 flowers, a birdhouse. Then you can close her up and the thanks goes centered on the gate. Yes, the heirloom arrangements was a very pretty kit. Okay, so we're just going to be putting 2 dimensionals on this guy. And then it is going to go here-ish. So that is a done card. Thanks. And you open it this way, and you open it this way, and then you've got this bottom portion to write on. Obviously, you don't want to write on the top, otherwise that will obscure from the view of the card when it's closed. So, now that we have one of them done, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of them. Let's try here. Kind of like airplane traffic this morning. Much easier with the take your pick tool. You can tell we're going to be doing a lot of dimensionals on these cards, so we're going to make it easier for us. So go ahead, put them down, and then you should be able to pull. Okay, so it's very thin. Okay. Start with the birdhouse. Then the doubles. The singles. So what I'm noticing is the double covers perfectly. The top flower that you're covering is a lot smaller than the flower that you're layering on top, whereas the bottom one that you're covering is pretty much a perfect match. So the top one matters less about covering the flower that you, about layering the flower on top of the flower that was there, just because it's not the exact same size, if that makes any sense. Okay, then we are going to put the thanks and move on to the third card of this set. Okay, I wondered about that. The first card didn't really have any hangover. Second card I had much more overhang. So I'm going to take the dimensionals off of that one. And this time I'm going to put it, so that's the middle, we'll put it here and here. And then we'll stick the sentiment on top of the dimensionals, because now they are placed where we want them to be and they won't hang off. Okay, last but certainly not least, let's get this card done. Okay. Now, of course, there are many places you could add Stella to this card if you want to level it up even a little more. But with all of the beautiful laser cuts and watercolor imagery, that is absolutely your call if you want to do that. Okay. And put here and here. Hang up the thanks sign, and we've got one card completely done. Beautiful. Yeah, you're right. I wonder if I would be hearing the planes out in the she shed. Probably, because that was pretty loud. But yes, I am in the upstairs crafting studio. So I'm definitely in the sky. Okay, wow. So, like I said before, the next two cards both have this sky card front or card base. So I'm going to loosely fold it, and then I'll give it a nice burnish. Oh, I don't know where the cough came from, Susan. It doesn't matter. We're all fine. Okay. Now we have just a note. Oh, okay. There was this white piece. I kind of put it to the side because I didn't think anything of it. So we're going to be stamping that texture to this, and then also stamping just a note on our strip here. Again, there's 5 and we only need 3. Okay. Where did I put my stamp pad? Oh, here it is. Yes, Tyra. Both things. I am fighting a bit of a cold, and it is a beautiful card. Okay, so just a note. It's going to go in our longer, skinnier sentiment holder. I'll go ahead and stamp them all just because. And then we are going to clean that stamp up and move on to the texture stamp. Silly me. So we'll get this one back out. Now this one's more arbitrary. I knew exactly where to stamp it because of the fence posts. This one, we're just going to be stamping texture lines in these rough places. And even these ones on the bottom more, much harder to see. Oh no, are we frozen? Okay, we're back. So the first one is going to be in the upper quarter, heading off of the right hand side, then shortly beneath that off of the left hand side, and last off of the right hand side again, more towards the bottom. This is just to get a little bit of texture on the card, so there really is no right or wrong place or way to be doing this. So, got all 3 of those done. Whoopsies. This is an older of our stamp pads, so it's not the hinge close that we have on our newer stamp pads, and it's really loose, so it's kind of has a mind of its own. I keep freezing. Oh my goodness, is everyone else having that problem? I noticed I was frozen once. Is anyone else having freezing problems? That barely fits there. Okay. So, it appears as though we're going to be putting tear and tape along the back of the piece we just stamped. So I'm going to line up all 3 of mine to just use one piece of tear and tape, and then I'll cut between them. Very silly. That's just what I'm doing. We're also going to be using tear and tape on the bottom of the leafy laser cut. Okay. Bring my glue scissor in and just give that a nice snip. Okay. Get the leafies. Nice spot. Clearly defined where we put that piece. And then we're bringing in a whole bunch of orange. Those flowers that we sorted out. And we are putting dimensionals on the backs of them. And we are cutting some of our dimensionals in half, and so this one seems to be a little more complex. So keep that in mind. Also bringing in this black gate. So the first thing we're going to do is peel the tear and tape and adhere this to the bottom back of the gate. Then we are going to bring the leaves kind of curled around the gate. I will show you this two more times. So 1, 2, 3, 4 places we're going to be bringing the leaves in front of the gate. So let's do that again. So grab your leaves, peel the tear and tape from the bottom. I would flip both of these pieces over and get it nice and centered on the back. Then flip it over, take the bottommost sprig and turn it over the gate. I went one too many leaves. Then upper left, 2 leaves to turn over. Then this piece at the top middle gets tucked under and through, and then on the right hand middle, we'll tuck this one over as well. Very cool. I'm a fan of that. All right, we'll do it one more time. Okay. All right, so we've got a leaf there, a couple of leaves there. Tuck this one through, and then, okay. Then, oh my goodness. Okay, then we're bringing the Just a Note back, and we're putting 3 dimensionals on the back of that. Okay, and now we're bringing back all of these orange flowers and putting a lot of dimensionals on them. I'm also going to sort them out. So we've got singles and 3ers. Oh my goodness, there are so many flowers. I can't tell if these are all the same or different. I think they are different, but I don't know that it so much matters. Okay. It appears as though we are putting dimensionals on the back of all of these. Of the individual ones, it appears as though one of them is big enough for a whole dimensional. However, I can't quite discern which one that would be, so I'm going to do halves for each of these 9 individual flowers. And then on the groups of 3, it appears as though we've got full, full, half, full, full, half. So I'm going to start by doing the full dimensionals on all, I was like, I know I dropped one, on all of the big flowers of the couplings, and then I'm going to cut a bunch of halves and start distributing them. So the best idea here is to try to get the dimensional in the center, centered enough that you can't really see it hanging out. And I know that that is extremely challenging. If you find it to be too difficult, you can absolutely go ahead and cut all of your dimensionals in half. Then you don't have to focus so much on getting it in the center because the dimensional is half as big. So then I've got 9 flowers over here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need 9 dimensionals cut in half, so I have enough for each of the remaining flowers. It is a lot of flowers. I was a little overwhelmed at first, but now that I'm putting, well, we'll see. I was going to say, now that I'm putting the dimensionals on, I'm seeming to be okay, but we got to stick these all yet. And we have to take all the dimensional backs off of them yet. So we'll see. Okay. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah! Okay, they fly. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay, now we can come back to the couplings. Okay. Sorry, this takes, at least for me, this takes a lot of focus. I did not do a great job cutting these in half. Half of a tiny dimensional is pretty small. Okay. There you have it. That is a lot of flowers with dimensionals. Now, we're not done. We need to put dimensionals on the back of the gate. Okay. That is part of this step, but I'm going to, just to clear these out of our space, I'm going to start by adhering the stamped piece down first, because then we can transition to all the dimensional backs. So these just get centered, top to bottom and left to right. Okay, so now I've got these out of my way, and I can switch back to the gates. We're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dimensionals on the back of each of these. So 3 across the bottom, and actually, knowing that I've got all this, I'm gonna start by using this. I don't like to see this go to waste. Okay. So we've got 3 across the bottom. Oh, I know. This is such an in-depth kit that it is hard to focus. Okay, and then one last piece on the bottom here. Okay, then we need right in the middle, left, right, and top. Okay, I need to switch to using my take your pick tool because I keep placing it not in the best location. Okay, right in the middle, left, there's a circle, right, and top. Right in the middle, left, top, and right. Okay, now we can stick it on. And I need to go get some water because I ran out and I am fighting back a tickle. So excuse me for a second. Okay, sorry about that. That just was very necessary. Because when you can't focus because you're trying not to cough, it's really hard. Okay, so we've got that stuck down. And we're also frozen. So there we go. Okay, so we've got that stuck down. Now we need to figure out where all these flowers go. So let's see if we can do that. We've got individual flowers over here. And the groupings are over here. So there's an open grouping and a closed grouping. And then we have our sentiment. So, just a note. This is going to go centered on our gate. Then we're going to do one of the open. So by open, I just mean like they're not all three of them are close to touching, whereas these, the bottom two are much closer to touching. So let's go ahead and grab one of these. This is going to go at the top. Okay, then we have one of the more closed groupings off to the left of the sentiment. And then another one of the closed groupings beneath the sentiment. Hello, Susan. Thank you for joining. So we've got this one going down here. And then we have 3 individual flowers. We are going to put one here. We are going to put one just off to the right of the sentiment and one just above the sentiment. Woo! There we have it. Can we do it 2 more times? Let's see. So we're going to start with our gate, getting all of the dimensionals off of there. Just a note. All right, then we've got the open set of flowers at the top. A set of 3 to the left of the sentiment. and then a set of 3 beneath the sentiment. Now, these are all placed relatively where I'm speaking. There's no right or wrong placement, so you really don't need to fret about where these all go. They just go somewhere. Okay, individual flower there, individual flower here, an individual flower off here. And then last but certainly not least, we have the third one. This was kind of the Mac Daddy of cards, if I had to say. This was a lot of individual pieces and steps. But it sure makes for a beautiful card. All right, so let's put this guy back down. Let's grab the sentiment. Let's start sticking. Okay, oopsies. When I was punching out all of the orange flowers, I was wondering how crazy it was going to be to stick them all. Well, there, now you just got to see how crazy it was. Wasn't too bad in the end, but it did feel like a lot at first. There you go. Just a note. Got it. And we are on our final card. So, let's get the instructions out. Go ahead and burnish the card. Thinking of you today is our sentiment. And then we're stamping the gate on the gate pieces. So this is a long stamp, so it's very crooked when you stick it on. Thinking of you today. Okay. We will clean that stamp up. And we will unfreeze. Don't mind me. I'm just waiting for the bottom camera to go ahead and unfreeze. So let me disconnect that and reconnect it.
What's free? What froze?
With the downward facing camera.
Did you know how to fix it?
I think I just unconnected and reconnected.
Okay, perfect. I was like, one time the phone died on me.
Oh.
And I had to take it off and like hold things up. That was just last week actually.
Yeah. She's just still frozen, so
Here.
I'll just go ahead and do that.
This is frozen?
Yeah.
So what I would do is take this out.
My head is stuck.
And what we'll do is go like this. Hi, everybody. So my voice is much better today.
You have a voice.
I have
what
a voice
beautiful
today.
thing.
It's amazing to be able to hear me talk. There, that guy. Let's see if that.
I think there were too many flowers in the last card.
Okay.
I think the phone was like, I'm
That should work.
done. All right, we are
Everybody.
back in business. So, now just in time to do a little more stamping. We're on the last card. So let's bring in, oopsies.
Well, good timing. Otherwise, yeah. So yeah, I would go from up above to do that.
Perfect. Okay, so we have, oh, beautiful. Okay, so they have this perfectly spaced out. That will stamp 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Beautiful thing about the kits, whether it be Paper Pumpkin or the kit classes, the stamps always fit on the D size block. So this stamp just fits on the D size block, but it sure fits. Okay, so go ahead, mount that down and stamp on the gate. Then these pieces over here, if you don't punch them out, are perfectly aligned that you can stamp both pieces at the same time. So basically, here it's 2 separate pieces with a piece in the middle, but if you go ahead and stamp one stamp, it puts the imagery on both just how it is supposed to be spaced out. So love that. That one was a little crooked, which is a-okay because they did give you 1 extra, which is a beautiful thing. Yeah, that one will go without. It's funny, the stamp is clear, but you still don't always put it where you want it. Much better. I really like this stamp. Okay, got all the stamping done. Go ahead and clean your stamp. Put it away. Clean it a little better. It's still a little dirty. There's deep grooves in there, so you just want to make sure you get all of the ink out of it. All right, thinking of you, we can punch those out. Punch the gates out. And then this is attached by a hinge. Okay. Now, first thing we are going to do is put a piece of tear and tape along the back. Oh, there's a little piece on the inside here. Okay, punch those out. Okay. Tear and tape along the back. Okay. We have lots of tear and tape on this card. We're also going to put tear and tape on the back of these. The small sections of each of these. Okay. Ooh, that got a little long. All right. Go ahead and cut them apart. I've never done it this way. It just makes it go a little faster. Not a ton, just a little. Every little bit helps. Just want to be very careful when you're snipping. Okay. We also have dimensionals on the back of the sentiments. Okay. got some posts, another sentiment. She's got all sorts of pieces. There are a substantial amount of pieces to this kit. That is not a bad thing, it's just an observation. So I am going to go ahead and put all of the adhesives everywhere so that we can just do some mass production as soon as we're done. Okay, we want 3 dimensionals on each of these fence posts. Okay. Are there any other pieces? Yes, there are flowers. Okay. Mind you, there are a lot of flowers. All right, 1-dimensional per on each of these as well. All right, I think we did it. Let's start mass producing. There's no space. Where am I supposed to make the cards? All right, let's put the flowers down first. This goes all the way to the bottom of the card. Next, we are going to put fences down. So we have a fence on each side going all the way into. Now there's a beautiful discoloration on the grass where you stick this. So bam, could not be easier. I want to make sure that I have it flat against the edge of my card. Very important. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. And then we are putting fence posts. And we will come back to the other pieces in just a smidge. Because we're going to redo that for all 3 of the cards. Okay. So, rinse and repeat. Come on. Okay, one more. Two more pulls. I am going to have such a mess of dimensional backs and tear and tape over here. It's going to be a big cleanup. So, here's my over-under on the kit. I love it. It's beautiful. The cards are gorgeous. Pack your patience. If you are more of a casual card maker, it takes a lot more time and patience than our typical kits. If you make any of the card kits that Chris makes, you probably have more patience and more desire to make a little more detailed cards. So this might not bother you as much. But just something to be aware of, that this kit has a lot of pieces and a lot of adhesives, so it's going to take more time and effort. Okay, open up the gate. Go ahead and put in the thinking of you. This is going to be centered just above the orange flower. Not a ton of room for it in here, so just be careful where you put it. And then we have, close the door back up, grab the hello. This goes on the outside of the gate. And then we need a yellow flower. This goes on the bottommost of the yellow flowers. We have a grape. I don't know what kind of flowers these are. This goes on the middle cluster. and then 3 of the purple puffs. Got 1 hanging over the gate. Got 1 above that. And 1 just, so like to the left of the ball, to the upper left of the ball, and to the right of the ball. All right. Now we do that 2 more times. And we have finished our kit. Okay, so again, this is going to be centered. Then we'll close the gate. We'll put the hello on the outside. Hello. Yellow flower. Our grapes. Someone can educate me on what kind of flower that is if we have anyone in the know. And then 3 purples. I like how the flowers are hanging over the gate. Not all of them, but some of them. Gives some nice depth and texture. All right, last but not least, card 9 of 9. Open up the gate. Thinking of you today. Close her back up. Please, 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 if you do this kit, I think the most important part is to clean up your dimensional backs before you move on to the next whatever you're doing, because there are so many of them. I don't want you to be upset when you have them cluttered all over your house. Woohoo! We did it! All right, now I will bring each of the cards back into the frame, and I want to know which card you like the best. I really am at a loss because I like them all. They all are very unique, and they are very intricately beautiful. So I think this is a 9 out of 9. All of the cards are great, which also could be seen as a 10 out of 10. Don't forget about the beautiful envelopes matching all of the cards. So very nice. Love these cards, just an awesome set. I agree. I think it's definitely a set that is going to be very well received and is likely going to sell out. So with the kits that are available in our online store, they are available while supplies last. So you want to get them before everyone else does. So if you love it, make sure to add it to your next order. And I hope you have enjoyed watching me go through the Welcoming Garden Kit, which was released by Stampin' Up! In March of 2025. That'll be it for now. You can always catch me on Thursday. We've got Paper Pumpkin coming at you on Thursday. And I hope you have a wonderful day and sending lots of sunshine, love, and big hugs your way.